Welcome to Film Club. The Mandalorian Episode 2 of Season 3 is now out. Is Episode 2 better than a much criticised first episode of Season 3? Is Mando back on track? Absolutely, this was a great episode. Full spoilers ahead, so if you want to go into the episode blind, then perhaps come back later. With that out of the way, on to the plot. We start off in Mos Eisley on Tatooine and join Peli Motto. Peli sells Din an astromech droid, R5, the very same droid that had a bad motivator in A New Hope.
Uncle Owen! Yeah? This R2 unit has a bad motivator!
Din and Grogu and a nervous R5 head to Mandalore, and Din explains to Grogu that Bo-Katan is on Kalevala in a Mandalorian system next to Mandalore. This is something to note that will come in handy later. They reach the planet, and R5 establishes that Mandalore hasn't been poisoned, and its air is breathable, although it has been absolutely destroyed by the Empire during the Great Purge decades ago. Grogu and Din head down to the mines, and Mando gets captured by a huge spider-like scavenging droid. Piloting the droid is a General Grievous-like creature.
Your lightsabers will make a fine addition to my collection.
Who is 90% cyborg and 10% organic, with its original head and eye melded onto its robotic frame. Yes, it's a really repulsive creature. Grogu follows Din into the cyborg's lair and tries to free Din but fails. Din tells Grogu to run and find Bo-Katan. Grogu leaves the mine and points to Kalevala on Din's starship navigator. R5 pilots the starship to Kalevala and they find Bo. Bo-Katan heads to Mandalore with Grogu and R5 to rescue Din. While rescuing Din, Bo-Katan kills a cyborg, using the Darksaber which the cyborg took from Din when he captured him. Bo and Din talk about their different interpretations on what it means to be a Mandalorian, and Bo says that she will take Mando to the Living Waters. Bo jokingly refers to an inscription next to the Living Waters, which state that the mines were once a mythosaur lair, and that Mandalore the Great had tamed these mythosaur beasts thousands of years ago. Din enters the water and is then plunged down deep below. Bo jumps in after Din and once again rescues him. Whilst heading out of the water, she sees a giant mythosaur. They arrive out of the pool and the episode ends. The first half of the episode focuses on Din and Grogu travelling together and the introduction of the always anxious astromech R5. The second half is a Bo episode, where she speaks to Grogu and Din about the histories of Mandalore. It was really enthralling stuff that solidifies my thoughts that this season is all about Mandalore's past and its future. A great ending, teasing the mythosaur, and an overall really good watch. Plot scores 8 out of 10. Entertainment value. I really enjoyed this episode. It was full of backstory for Mandalore, and this was certainly not a side quest B-plot episode. It's almost as if the panic over episode 1 was a little overblown. The exploration on Mandalore, especially through the eyes of Bo-Katan, was really interesting, and it's great to see the expanded Star Wars universe being front and centre of their flagship show. Thoroughly entertaining, and although primarily focusing on the three of Din, Grogu and Bo, the ramifications from this episode will be huge for all the Mandalorians in the show. And as Bo picked up the Darksaber, does that now mean that she is the rightful ruler of Mandalore? As a cyborg creature, effectively disarmed Din of the Darksaber, and then Bo killed the creature. So has it passed from Din to Knockoff Grievous, and then from Knockoff Grievous to Bo-Katan? I'm sure we'll find out in episode 3. Anyway, entertainment value scores 8 out of 10. Characters and performances. Din is a great active protagonist who leads the plot. His relationship and trust of Bo could be very interesting, as they represent the different sects of the Mandalorian culture. One even wonders whether they could have a romantic connection, as Bo is all so quick to help rescue Din with very little hesitation. What I love about Din is that from the very first episode of Season 1, he's always beaten down and often outmatched, but he still struggles on. This episode, however, he was pretty useless really, and needed saving and guiding from Bo-Katan numerous times. On Bo-Katan, played by Katie Sackhoff, she was a real scene stealer this episode. From her conversations with Grogu about how she used to fight with the Jedi during the Clone Wars, and when she talks to Din about what Mandalore used to be, it's really poignant. Little Grogu also deserves a mention, as he does very well to escape the mine and contact Bo in order to save Din Djarin. It's very nice to see Grogu's abilities and understanding develop, and his force jump move, which he uses as often as he can, is fun to see. Characters and performances, 9 out of 10. Visuals. I love the scene with Din's starfighter breaking through the clouds, and we see Mandalore for the first time. As they escape the rainstorm, it's such a great reveal, and they pass through the clouds and see the ominous beauty of the planet below. The capital city of Sundari is brought to life from the animated Clone Wars show into live action spectacularly. Visuals score 10 out of 10. Sound. From when the cyborg creature captures Din, then slowly ejects from his scavenging robot, it's quite scary really. The tense music evokes fear, and the soundtrack of this episode was certainly more nerve-wracking and full of tension compared to episode 1's soundtrack. The music climaxes when the mythosaur is revealed, and is a great way to end the episode. Sound scores 9 out of 10. Ending. The ending of Bo seeing the mythosaur could be very big for the overall direction of Season 3, and future seasons beyond this one. As the armourer said in the Book of Boba Fett, there is legend that the mythosaur rising up can herald a new age for Mandalore. Will Bo tame the mythosaur and unite the Mandalorian clans, like Tar Vizsla did? Or will it be Din or even Grogu, who has shown animal taming abilities with the Mudhorn in Season 1 Episode 2, and a Rancor in the finale of the Book of Boba Fett? The ending leads to so many interesting questions, and excitement to see where Season 3 goes next. If I have many questions like this and excitement for the next episode, it means that this was a very good ending for sure. Ending scores 9 out of 10. Rating. Season 3 Episode 2, The Mines of Mandalore, receives a rating of 88%. Episode 2 is a personal journey for Din and Bo that has massive implications for the season overall. A great episode. Episode comparison. Although I didn't dislike Episode 1 and enjoyed its fun swashbuckling style, this episode is certainly an improvement. My overall rating for Season 3 currently stands at 83%. 2 episodes in, Season 3 of The Mandalorian stands at 9th place on the overall series leaderboard. After this episode, I have faith that this can match Season 1 and perhaps even reach the heights of Season 2 of Mando. Franchise comparison. Compared to other Star Wars shows, Season 3 is just above The Bad Batch Season 2 in 5th place. Andor, Mando Season 2 and Tales of the Jedi take up the top 3 spots, and Mando Season 1 is currently in 4th place. My rating for this episode of 88% is lower than the current IMDb rating, which is 9.1 out of 10. Looking at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, Season 3 as a whole is currently on 84% for the critics rating, and the audience score is 79%. I imagine this will move up to the mid-80s once more people watch and review Episode 2. Anyway, what would you rate the episode, and who do you think could ride the mythosaur at the end of Season 3? Bo, Din, or even Grogu perhaps? Next week we will be reviewing Episode 3 of Mando, and tomorrow I will be reviewing The Bad Batch, Season 2 Episode 12, and then the new Adam Driver film 65, which is coming out tomorrow as well. If you enjoyed this video, then perhaps consider subscribing to the channel. See you again.